Hello, namaskar, sat sri akal, adab, kasa काय, केडो हालाय, केम छो? I am Abha Jadhav once again welcoming you all in Spotlight with Abha in collaboration with Radio Brainline. Friends, have you observed any kind of similarity among the successful people? Yes, you are right. The first thing is you must be surprised to see that how these people they are able to do a lot of things in just 24 hours which you and me have. Yes, there's the effective way of their working. There may be their effective time management. But actually, if I say all these are habits which these successful people have developed by the time, which seems challenging for you and me. You must be thinking what Abha is talking today. Don't worry. I'm here to give you relief from this tension. Because I have got one amazing, astounding personality today once again. Mr. Anand Bhatnagar, whose tagline is Start Unknown, Finish Unforgettable. Welcome, Anand, to the series
Thank
of
you so much,
Mindset
Abha.
once again. Today,
Thank you so much.
friends, we are continuing this series of Mindset with the title Five Habits of Effective People, about which Anand will be guiding us and making us charge with the habits which normally successful people have, and we are always getting amazed. So, Anand, are we ready to fire up?
Yes, please make me the co-host so I can
Yes, sure.
share my presentation. Okay, so thank you for that, and I hope you are able to see my slide. Are you able to see the slide?
Yes,
Yes, no?
yes, yes, yes.
Super, very nice. Excuse me, I have a bad throat today, so excuse me if I keep on coughing. I've been speaking since morning, right? And so, anyways, so thank you for this, and this is the second part in our series, and I'm sure the earlier session that we had for all of you would have been useful to you. There would be some points that you would have reflected upon. Remember, we said it's all about mindset. We try to understand the difference between the mindset of an achiever, and we compared and contrasted that with the mindset of an average person. So yes, it is all about mindset, and it is a mindset that separates, differentiates the achievers from the average people, right? And as we move on, let me share something with you from one of my favorite authors. His name is Jim Rohn, and he talks about two things. Number one, we all have to choose between either the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. We cannot shy away from it. I cannot say I don't want either of the two. We have to pick and choose one. So are we going to pick up the pain of discipline, which weighs a few ounces, or are we going to have the pain of regret, which weighs in tons? So let me make it simpler for you. Have you been in a state in your life where reflecting back on your life, a thought would have crossed your mind that I could have done better? Think about it. If there is a thought that crosses my mind that yes, I could have done better, that's a pain of regret, right? And we're going to talk about the discipline factor. And if there is one thing that makes people successful, people living a life of significance, I think so that word is discipline. And we're going to talk about it. Before I talk about it, before I go into the depth, and as I said, it is all about discipline, let me ask you some self-reflective questions. And these questions are for you, for me personally. So I would encourage you to have a paper and pen along with you as we go along in this journey to become the best versions of ourselves. How do we start unknown and finish unforgettable? How do I get into that 1% of the bracket of the world's population? Remember, 1% of the world's population controls 46% of the world's wealth. Only a few have so much in life, and so many have so little in life. And like Abha so rightly said, what are they able to do? They are able to do more in those 24 hours. They're able to achieve more in the 1,440 minutes that we have in a day. They're able to do more in the 86,400 seconds in a day. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. Question number one, reflect. In a typical day of 24 hours or in a typical week of 168 hours, I spent way too much time on. मेरा हद से ज्यादा समय किस पे जा रहा है?
Anand,
रिफ्लेक्ट करें.
if I say in today's scenario, as lockdown is going on, it would be maximum on social media, on mobile.
Correct. Thank you for being honest. And the other question that I will ask you is, are you paying social media or is
No.
social media paying you?
No.
Let's say you may be spending time on Netflix or any of these channels. So my question to you is Netflix paying you or are you paying Netflix?
We are paying Netflix.
So just think, correct. So how do I move from a consumer mindset to a creator mindset? I spent way too much time on. My friends, boys and girls, second question for me and you to reflect upon is, I wish I had more time for, and why? Think about it and be honest to yourself as we dwell deep into this concept. And I'll finish it in the next 25 minutes, 30 minutes of total talk time. And hopefully at the end of 30 minutes, you will have had some learnings.
I think, Anand, for this question, I will be answering, I wish I had more time for my self-development.
Correct, right? And Jim Rohn also has another statement building upon what Abha just said. And he famously said that if, think about this statement, let me put it in different words. Formal education is school, college, university, and all of that. Formal education will help us earn a living. Yeah, formal education will help us earn a living. Self-education will help us earn a fortune. So formal education versus self-education. Third question. Thank you, Abha, for putting that point up, right? So because you put that point up, I shared one more statement. Question number 3. I procrastinate when? What? Why? I delay or defer. What? When? Why? वो कौन सी चीजें हैं जो मैं कल पे धकेल रहा हूं? जैसे स्कूल में हमने कबीर जी के दोहे पढ़े थे. हमने कबीर जी का कौन सा दोहा पढ़ा था? कबीर जी ने ऐसा कहा था, आज करो सो कल करो सो परसों, अभी इतनी क्या जल्दी है जब जीने हैं बरसों.
नहीं, it's like
नहीं ऐसा नहीं है यार, बट हमने उसको एक्चुअली ऐसा बना दिया है.
yes.
हम आज का काम कल पे धकेल रहे हैं. Yesterday I said tomorrow. ये सेंटेंस पे आप गौर करिएगा. Yesterday I said tomorrow, and today is yesterday's tomorrow. Yes or no?
Yes.
But I am not doing it. So what are the things that I delay, I defer, I procrastinate? Remember, friends, boys and girls, procrastination is just not a thief of time. It is also a thief of your dreams. Question number 4. If hypothetically speaking, we had a 25th hour, what would you do in that time? मान लीजिए आपके पास दिन में 25वां एक आवर ऐड हो जाए, वो 25th आवर में आप और मैं क्या करेंगे?
I think, Anand, it's not going to make any difference if we are going to be procrastinating or we are spending more time on social media.
तो 1 घंटा और उसमें करेंगे.
हाँ, it will add on to that.
Correct, right? सोचिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन के बारे में. What is the next question? आपके स्क्रीन पर है. अगर आप इसको गौर से स्टडी करो तो आपका आंसर क्या होगा? If there is no currency in the world and I could spend my time doing all the things that I love doing, what would I spend my time on? People who are successful form the habits of doing things that unsuccessful people do not like to do. I'll repeat. And I'm quoting an author called Albert Gray from the book Common Denominator of Success. And he says in that small booklet, successful people form the habits of doing things which unsuccessful people don't like to do. What do successful people do? Work on their passion, work upon their purpose, are persistent, and are disciplined. ये आप जानते हो, मैं कोई नई बात नहीं कर रहा. But my dear friends, let's have the discipline to finish all that we start. Remember, decisions will help us get started, but it is discipline that will help us finish. And my last question on your screens. What is that question? Try to answer this question. If I didn't need money in my life, what would I do with my time? Would you still do what you're doing? I raise my hand and say, I will still do what I do because for me, my work is my passion. I will do what I do with the same passion, with the same intensity, no matter whether you pay me for doing it or you don't pay me for doing it. Think about it. Are you living a life of passion? Are you living a life of purpose? I believe your purpose will lead you to your passion. And maybe after some time, we can do a series on how do we live a life of passion? How do we live a life of purpose? I'll share some of my thoughts with all of you on that. So I asked you about 5 or 6 questions, right? And Robin Sharma, who is one of my favorite authors, what he says, the hours that ordinary people waste are the hours that extraordinary people leverage. So my dear friends, think about it. Are we spending time or are we investing time? I'll repeat. Are we spending time or are we investing time? And I need to invest time. And we all want to perform. But please remember, my performance will give me a platform. And from that platform will I be able to influence. So if I want that platform to influence, I need to perform. And for me to perform, I need to take care of what I do with my time. Because the bedrock of performance, the need, the foundation of performance, in my opinion, is preparation. So the question that comes to my mind is, am I preparing or am I repairing? And we're going to talk about that in detail. Also understand, my dear friends, my performance is a result of a few things. Number one, the environment. Are you surrounded with people who are passionate? Are you surrounded with people who have a vision in life, who have a purpose in life? If yes, then it rubs on to you. But if you're surrounded with people who are just passing time, guess what? That also will get rubbed on to us. The second is your exposure. What are the topics that you are exposed to? In the digital world where we are all connected together, the whole world is just a click away. What am I exposed to? Am I building the width of my knowledge and the depth of my knowledge? Remember, I need to be a mile deep and a mile wide person. I cannot afford to be an inch deep and a mile wide person. The depth and the width of knowledge comes from the exposure. Number three is education. Like I shared that quotation from Jim Rohn, formal education will help us earn a living. Self-education will help us earn a fortune. And today you have got technology, you have got high-speed internet connectivity. What are we doing with it? Are we learning? जैसे विराट कोहली की वो एड आजकल आती है ना, जिसमें वो कहता है कि सिर्फ बड़े सपने देखने से कुछ नहीं होता है, बट हमें कुछ सीखना पड़ेगा. सीखेंगे नहीं तो आगे नहीं बढ़ेंगे. So if I want to earn, I need to learn. EARN के लिए LEARN करना जरूरी है. एजुकेशन एंड योर एक्सपीरियंस. ये 4E का कॉन्सेप्ट आप याद रखिएगा. एंड रिमेंबर कि आज से कुछ साल के बाद, 5, 10, 15, 20 साल के बाद, I will be the same person, you will be the same person, except for two things. Number one, the books that we read, and number two, the people that we associate with. Remember, my dear friends, eagles don't fly with pigeons. Remember your association, very, very important. And Robin Sharma has again said this beautifully. Ordinary people love entertainment. Extraordinary people adore education. And education, the roots of it are bitter, but the fruits of it are sweet. I'll repeat. Education, the roots of education are bitter, but the fruits are sweet. So 1440 मिनट दिन में होते हैं, 86,400 seconds मेरे और आपके पास दिन में होते हैं. उसमें से एजुकेशन का कितना समय? तो हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? All of us will need to align three things: our passion, our purpose, and our perseverance. And we'll talk about passion in the next series. But ये पटरी misaligned नहीं होना चाहिए. It should be aligned. पूछिए अपने आप को, क्या आपकी पटरी अलाइंड है? क्या आपका पैशन, आपका पर्पस एंड आप जिस के लिए डटे हुए वो तीनों के अलाइंड है? कोई अगर मेरे से पूछे, आनंद आपके लाइफ का पर्पस क्या है? याद रखिए, तीन चीजें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट. We need to align these three things. That is going to help, and doing this is going to force us from our zone of comfort. So if you're making notes, please write this down. और अब आप इस सेंटेंस के बारे में सोचिए एंड आप अपनी टिप्पणी दीजिए उसके ऊपर. We need to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think so. We are now so comfortable with being uncomfortable. We don't like anyone who pushes us out of the comfort zone. I'll have to become more comfortable with being uncomfortable. तो आपका जो comfort zone है, ये बहुत comfortable है, but इसमें कुछ होता नहीं है. So everything that I want in life lies outside my zone of comfort. So
very true, Anand. Here I will say that many a times you might be hearing people, if we give them some challenges, तो रहने दो ना, हम जहाँ हैं वही ठीक है. कौन अगर मगजमारी करे, कौन फालतू का एफर्ट ले, जो है उसी में खुश हैं हम, क्या जरूरत है बंगले की,
क्या जरूरत है?
हाँ, they talk like that.
इसलिए मैंने कहा है the richest place, the wealthiest place on planet Earth is the graveyard. So many people, majority of the people are lying dead with music still left in them. They had so much of talent, they had so much of ability, but they did nothing. So I need to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Now, if we want to understand the habits of people who are successful, understand one of that is on your screen. We need to go beyond the comfort zone. We need to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that is not easy. That is not easy. So what is this? Abha?
The gems,
They are?
gemstones, ruby.
They are gems. What is this?
Diamond.
So they are gems?
Yeah.
So gem की quality क्या होती है?
They shine differently from other stones. If you keep
Correct.
it among
Or
the normal stones, they keep on shining like anything. They have their own brightness, they have their own composition, and they are not available easily.
fantastic, very good. So they shine and they are not easily available. So they are rare.
Yes,
So do you want to be a gem?
of course.
Do you want to shine?
Of course.
Do you? We all want to. But how do I shine? How do I stand apart? Like in school, I was a outstanding student, and me and Abha studied together in school. I was an outstanding student. I was standing out most of the time. I was an outstanding student, right? You will not understand. Maybe आपको बाद में समझ में आएगा. But let us understand, how do I really outshine? How do I stand out in a crowd? GEM. People who do well in life have, number one, goals in life. So the GEM is goals. Wildly important goals. Wildly important means it is critically important. I do not have the luxury to fail. Failure is not an option. The stakes are very high. Number one, and we'll build upon this in the subsequent sessions. What do you think, Abha, would be the alphabet E? If G is goals, what do you think E would be?
Effective time management.
Okay. So E is you empower yourself. You get into the education that I was talking about. So if I have a task that I need to do in the times to come, I need to prepare, I need to empower myself. क्षमता होगी तो ही कर पाओगे ना. स्पर्धा में बने रहने के लिए स्पर्धात्मक तो बना रहना पड़ेगा. To be in the competition, I need to be competitive. I need to empower myself with the future skills, with knowledge, with resources. That's E. G is for goals. E is how you empower yourself. सिर्फ बड़े सपने देखने से कुछ नहीं. करेंगे मरेंगे वंदे मातरम, लग जाओ. हाँ लग जाओ, चलो लग जाओ, बट उसके बाद क्या?
Yes.
I need to empower myself. Any guesses, Abha, what would be M?
Management,
Of?
effective management of time, self-discipline.
Okay. So sorry for putting you on the spot, right? So M is how do you measure your progress? Remember this statement. If we cannot measure it, we cannot manage it. So if I want to be one of the few, not one of the many, If I want to be in a class, not in a mass, if I want to be a gem, I need to have goals, I need to empower myself, educate myself, and I need to measure my progress. That is what those 5 habits are all about. What are the 5 things? If I were to put this into a nutshell and tell you the 5 things that effective people do, write it down. And this I am quoting from one of my favorite authors. His name is Dr. John C. Maxwell. And this I am quoting from a book titled Today Matters. The first thing that effective people do is on your screen. They make the right decisions and they manage those decisions daily. What do? They make the right decisions and they manage them daily. What is the secret? Right decisions and daily. I hope you will agree with me when I say that there is a difference between doing things right and doing right things. Remember, we are talking about effectiveness, and effectiveness is doing right things. Efficiency is doing things right. I'll repeat. Effectiveness is doing the right things. Efficiency is doing things right. So how do I ensure that I'm doing the right things? Maybe if time permits, we will do a session on decision making. हम life में decisions कैसे लेते हैं? So effective people have a knack of making the right decisions, and they make those decisions early in their life. And once they make that decision, they manage that decision on a daily basis. हम करते हैं, but हमारे से challenge क्या है? हम कुछ दिन तक करते हैं. हमें हर रोज करना है, daily करना है. That's a challenge.
I think, Anand, here it is said that if you want to develop habit of anything, if you do it continuously for 21 days, it actually turns into habit.
Forget about 21 days, start तो करो.
Yes, that's true.
क्योंकि हम start करते 21 days, my goodness. एक दिन तो कर लो. जैसे habit is what Abha said. Habit की spelling क्या होती है?
HABIT.
HABIT. ठीक है. अब मैं ये habit में से क्या करता हूं? मैं H निकाल देता हूं. क्या रह गया? bit रह गया. इस habit में से मैं A निकाल दूं, bit रह गया. Habit में से मैं B निकाल दूं, remember it still remains. So when you talk about habits, remember, good habits or bad habits?
Good habits.
Good habits are difficult to form, easy to keep.
Yes.
Bad habits are easy to form, difficult to keep. So be careful about the habits that I and you are forming. Point number 1, they make the right decisions early and they manage those decisions daily. Point number 2 that effective people do, they make those decisions which go against popular culture. I don't know the recipe of success, but I for sure know the formula for failure. What is the formula for failure? Trying to please everyone. You cannot please everyone. You will have to stand out. Remember, a dead fish flows with the current, but a living fish always goes against the current. I have to ask myself, am I going with the flow or am I in a flow? I need to be in a flow. I was not born to be a part of the herd mentality. सब कर रहे हैं तो मैं भी करूं. No, remember that. And मेरे लिए कहना बहुत आसान है, आपके लिए वहां पर बैठ के सुनना, I think so उससे भी आसान है, but ये करना थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट है, जद्दोजहद तो आपको और मुझे करनी ही पड़ेगी.
भेड़ चाल चलनी है या शेर बन के आगे लीड करना है.
Correct, absolutely. Number 3, let's look at the third thing is, and this is the heart of it. वैसे भी 5 में से 3 है, जो 3 मतलब heart हो गया, बीच center हो गया. What is the centermost point? The secret of our success is determined by our daily choices. Daily मैं क्या choice choose करता हूँ. Remember this. I am free up to the point of choice. Once I have chosen, then the choice controls the chooser. I'll repeat what I said. I am free up to the point of choice. Once I have chosen, out of the choices that I had, then the choice that I chose will control me. So what am I choosing on a daily basis? On a daily basis. It is not in days. Number 4, which is linked to number 3, is unless I change something that I do daily, I cannot expect to change anything in my life. Nothing changes if I don't change. If I want things to get better, I need to get better. If I want things to change, guess what? I need to change. And the 5th habit of highly effective people, or what is the 5th thing that highly effective people do, is my favorite, and that is on your screen. Decisions help us get started, but it is discipline that helps us finish. And I started with the point that we learned from Jim Rohn, that I have to pick and choose between the 2 pains, either the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The pain of regret weighs in tons, whereas the pain of discipline weighs in ounces. हम शुरू तो करते हैं, but उसको खत्म नहीं करते. So just ask yourself, do I finish everything that I start? And how do I finish everything that I start? I think so it is a decision that helps us get started. Good. What is even better is building that discipline to finish everything. I need to be a finisher. That's what I said. Finish strong. Finish unforgettable. Not many people do this, and we saw this last time, that the best way to predict the future is to create it. And what we are trying to do in the series is, the best way to create the future is to design it. And designing it is all about mindset. So in this exactly 30 odd minutes that we had today, we covered some important points. When we come again, in continuation of this series, we will talk about how do I become the best version of myself. What are the steps that I have to take to become the best version of myself? Not the best in the class, but the best that I was created to. So we'll look at 4 steps on how do I be the best version of myself, and that we will talk on the other side of the break. So thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing us. Thank you for making your notes. I hope this is helping you. Take good care of yourself, and till such time that we meet again, keep smiling and keep shining. Thank you so much. Thank you, Abha, for having me on your amazing program called Spotlight with Abha. So back to you.
Thank you, Anand. That was really wonderful and eye-opener. Though I can truly take the credit that whatever habits you have told today, few of them I have already started. Okay,
Fantastic.
I have started practicing some daily rituals. I make morning affirmations. Every day I write them my morning affirmation. I make sure whether it is lockdown, it is holiday or whatever, I'll get up at 5 o'clock. Such kind of habits I've already started developing in myself, and I'm
Very good.
actually
Fantastic.
finding results. I'm actually getting results of these habits, and you will be amazed to know I'm not boasting, but yes, we have talked about goal setting, and in 2017, I have set a goal. I actually have that workbook with me. I have written that goal and I have picturized what I was dreaming about. I have written my goal that I want to become principal in March 2018. And I've, accordingly I've worked. I made my weekly plans, I made monthly goals, and broke those goals into short bits. And you will be surprised to know that exactly on 30th March, I got my appointment letter of principal.
Wow. Awesome.
And in the
See,
same
this
way,
is
which,
justification that it
yes,
works.
and in the same picture, same way, when I drew that picture, I was having long hair and I was a little bit fat. But when I reached on that post, the picture which I have drawn was like short hair, beautiful picture I have drawn. So the same way I've achieved. So I can, truly can say that I have felt it, that what is the power of setting goals.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if we develop this
Absolutely.
habit, definitely it's going to work magic in everyone's life. So with this
Absolutely.
note,
Absolutely.
we expect that our viewers will definitely start developing few of the habits. They will start with some of small habits, and they will change themselves by now on. And of course, in the next episode, we will be meeting with another session on be the best version of yourself. So still you have not changed yourself, still you are not able to discover your best version, then again I'll be there with Anand to guide you how you can be the best version of yourself. Yes, again I'll be telling you here that this episode you will be able to watch on YouTube channel Abha Jadhav, and at the same time you will be able to listen this episode on Radio Brainline, which you can download from Google Play Store. So friends, uh, it's time to leave now. We'll see you in next episode with some newly developed habits to become the best version of yourself. Thank you, Anand. We'll take
Absolutely.
leave.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Namaskar.
Bye bye. Namaskar.